I look around the room and I know a lot of you, but I see some new faces too. Again, my name is Pamela. I'm the Executive Director for the Association for the Bladder Exstrophy Community. I come to this journey a little bit differently. I adopted a little girl from China at the age of 4.5 who had 2 failed exstrophies. And she's since then been repaired, and she has a metropolis. I'll be talking about those. And she's upstairs with your kids, and she is living the great life of a 10-year-old. But I came on board with the Association for the Bladder Exstrophy Community a couple of years ago, and have been speaking, this is my 3rd year. I've been invited to speak here to let you see the things that are happening the things that have been happening with ABC. As Dr. Gerhardt said, it's your 25th year here. It's ABC's 25th year anniversary, and as he shared, this organization began with Dr. Jeff Goda, who was, his son was a patient of Dr. Gerhardt's. Just imagine, if you would, children around the world living in fear, isolation, and shame because of their initially devastating birth defect. This is a reality for many, many children around the world living with exstrophy. It's a really different journey than a lot of the journeys that we've heard here this morning. When I look up at this page, all of these children have touched my life in the last couple of years with exstrophy. And again, they're from around the world. We see Koshi from Pakistan, whose father spent 2 years going from hospital to hospital across Asia looking for a doctor that would help her. The little girl in the corner from Vietnam is in an orphanage waiting for a family. She's got low ankle exstrophy. She was matched a few months ago because we put her picture on ABC's website. The little boy from Turkmenistan, Sabir, came to India last year, and he was so compacted with fecal matter that we had to delay his surgery for 6 months while we took care of that. And the little girl in the middle, Ghana, Annette, we've just raised enough money to bring her to Qatar in October so she can have her 3rd exstrophy. She sits in Ghana right now. She's so infected that she's lost her skin across her abdomen and her knees. So these children do have a different journey, and it's a sad journey, but really, together, there's so much hope, and there's so much that we can do as a community to change the lives of these children. When I took this on and I started seeing these children, I really, truly believe as a parent of an adopted child with exstrophy, that any child affected with exstrophy can realize their greatest potential and life journey, just like the beautiful children that we saw here this morning. How do we do this? ABC, we educate parents, families, and through a new relationship with the Henry Project, healthcare professionals with the latest information on bladder exstrophy. We try to provide easy and up-to-date information. We're very careful with the fact that the information that's on our website is accurate, easy to understand from parents, and translated sometimes now in different languages. Sneak preview, we are launching a comic book for our 25th anniversary. We had a little boy review it for me yesterday, just to give children, especially these older kids, aged 10 to 13, an opportunity to share some of the fears that they have. This was written by one of our advisory board members, Dr. Grady, and a patient of his who endured many surgeries and had so much anxiety around it that as a healing process, we put together a comic book that we will be launching at our conference in a couple of weeks, and we hope that you all join us. We're trying to crowdfund so that we can help pay for the cost of illustrations, publishing, and distribution worldwide of this comic book in new languages. We also have a lot of live and recorded videos that we do. We tend to do 3 or 4 a year. Dr. Gearhart just did one for us in May that just went live on our website just this past week. So if you didn't get a chance to go on and meet with him during the webinar, please go back and take a look at that. That's been a live recording. Hi, Lily.
I just
We also provide, as I said, extrophy conferences around, we do them in a different city every year. And this year we're doing it in Oklahoma City. It's July 8th through the 10th. I'm not sure if any of you are going to be joining us, but we have Dr. DiCarlo and Dr. Gearhart will be joining us there along with a lot of other doctors who are experts in bladder exstrophy. We also, in last January, during our 8th operative workshop in India, held an extrophy conference for the families there. We had about 150 families across India attending a conference very similar to this, in which we were educating the families on how they can live with bladder exstrophy and what they can do to help their children. We also provide a lot of global support through social media, emails, phones, gatherings. We do picnics every year. Tom Exler, our vice president, is involved in a lot of our picnics that happen across the country through every summer. And our website is literally blowing up with usage and information. We had over 56,000 visits this last year on our website, and it continues to grow. So we really do share a global presence in helping families with bladder exstrophy. Now, I don't do all this in a bubble. I have an amazing, dedicated collaboration with the doctors throughout the centers of excellence across the country. I try to visit all of my hospitals and work and meet all of the different teams that are involved. And we are, again, working as a collaborative team. You'll see with our medical advisory board, the who's of children's hospitals and a team of extrophy patients. And it's my great honor and privilege to announce for the first time publicly that Heather DiCarlo has been invited by our advisory board to be our newest advisory board member, and we are thrilled to have you on board and to be sharing your expertise with us. So we're really, really happy to have her with us, and hope to see you as part of the global peer team shortly too. As we said, it's just sort of evolved. I think part of it is the success of our website. We get emails and calls and referrals every day on how do we coordinate the best care around the world. And this too is growing. There's a lot of international work being done by the team here and by different experts in the extrophy field all around the world. And ABC has taken a really leadership role in facilitating a lot of these surgeries, and it's just been evolving from seeing over 150 patients in India to facilitating surgeries in Doha, Qatar, to helping families get here to the United States. It's just a lot of work, but again, these families deserve to have the best care from the best doctors, and the dedicated team of doctors that are going out and they're volunteering their time in these developing countries and teaching the doctors that came here at the boot camp a few months ago. We had doctors in from all over. There's just a lot of movement and education being done to help advance this field. This is just another picture that the collaboration that we have in India that's happening over like in the last 8 years. That's a growing field, and this last year's not been officially announced yet, but the government of Gujarat has donated a wing of a hospital for extrophy patients, and we will continue to grow that, and it will be an opportunity to serve more patients and to have more doctors over in India, more than just one month a year, but perhaps 2 or 3 times a year. And it gives us an opportunity and a space to bring in patients from other parts of the world, and we can use that as an opportunity again to help patients and train doctors, and that again is evolving. every year, and that continues to grow. And again, we couldn't do this without the help of our kids. And when we go every year, our kids want to go with us, but they want to be involved as well. And so you see a couple of amazing children up there, my two children in the front row. You know, they hear this and they live it with me every day, and they want to know how do they get involved. So my two third graders last year went to their school and asked if they could do a pajama drive. And they raised over 200 pairs of pajamas that we brought to India, so children in the ward could all have a clean, dry pair of pajamas. It's the first time a lot of them have ever had a new pair of clothing, so that was a way for my children to feel involved. Dr. Pramod Reddy's daughter, Trisha Reddy, she's a senior in high school, freshman in college. Every year works with her dad, Pramod Reddy, and she donates and she gathers and donates medical supplies and catheters. And this year she went to the Women's Auxiliary and facilitated and coordinated over 200 pillowcases and sheets and things that so the children could have clean beds to sleep on when they got out of surgery. And Ajana, she's our anesthesiologist in pain management. Her daughter gathered through the help of their middle school in where she's down in Illinois as well, gathered a bunch of toys and games so the kids would have something to do with. And this was our way of doing an ad hoc child life ward for these kids while they're spending 30 to 45 days in the hospital. So if your kids, if any of your children want to get involved, there's a lot of needs. So just talk to me afterwards, and it might be a good opportunity for them to get involved in seeing and helping other kids as well. But the one I really love, the story I love the most, is the story of Mick. Mick is a little boy who's 8 years old, living in Salt Lake City, who thought he was the only little boy living with bladder exstrophy. And when I was talking to his mother about a little girl in Africa that we had learned of, and I shared her story last year, she's an orphan, and she was orphaned in Uganda, and we didn't know how we were going to help her, but I knew we had to. Mick said that he wanted to, and so he and his mother did an art show, and they raised $20,000 and brought, so we were able to bring Helen to Uganda. She was a little girl in the first picture, and with the team of doctors in India and Mick's help, she has had a successful surgery, and she's now back in Africa. And I told the story to a couple of parents yesterday. The most beautiful thing, she went back to her village where she was abandoned and thrown away, and isolated and shamed, where she had lived for 4.5 years. And she walked into her village and she proudly stripped her clothes off and danced in a circle, and everyone came around, and they could not believe. First, they could not believe this little girl had been on an airplane. But secondly, they could not believe that she'd been fixed and that her life was worth her fixing. And she's now somewhat of a celebrity in her village. And I don't know whose face I like better, Helen's smile, and that's Primrose, a young woman who was her caregiver, because again, she doesn't have a family. She flew with her to spend the 45 days in India and took care of her. Or Dr. Shukla's face, knowing that he made a difference in that little girl's life. And that's why I do this. That's why I'm up here, and that's why I continue to put my time and energies, because to see a little girl's face like that is just priceless for me. Just want to close with a few things. I've never really shared our numbers, and I know people ask me, and I've had a lot of conversations over the last few weeks. You know, how do we do this? And we're a pretty lean organization, and I wasn't able to capture the hours of volunteer work that the doctors put in and everyone puts into this. But I think really when you see it, we accomplish a lot with not very much money. And I think about the surgeries that we've saved, and the hundreds of children and people that we've touched, and the thousands of people that have sat in our educational webinars. I really am, I have to say, I feel pretty proud that we've been able to accomplish this. Then I stop and I step back, and I was talking to a couple families yesterday, and it made me go back to my room last night and say, imagine what we could do with just a little bit more. I mean, what could we do? We could go from saving 3 kids to maybe 8. Just not much more. We could go from educating more families. There's just so much more that we could do. We could enhance our website. We could build a listserv. So how could we do that? I mean, could we as a community get together and share and figure out how can we as a community give more to our community? I just would like you all to think about that. And I just want to leave you with that thought, that with your help, we can make the highest standard of treatment and support available